Hello, everybody, and welcome in for another episode of Beyond the Orange, brought to you by the great people at Knoxville Smiles. I'm your host, Austin Price. Tonight on the show, we have Tennessee quarterback George MacIntyre. George, when you look at the last year, you arrive on campus last year at this time, you go through a little bit of bowl practice. Now you're heading into spring practice where you're going to be competing for the job. How different of a feel is that for you?
Yeah, there's definitely a sense of urgency now. I thought there always was, but when you're first getting there, just like every other college student, you're kind of drinking from a fire hose. So, I've had my time to sit and learn, and I feel like there's an added sense of urgency going into this off season.
When you talk about drinking from a fire hose, like how quick was it all when you first got here? Because high school game just moves a lot slower. Even if it's a really advanced league in high school, like it still moves much slower than playing in the SEC.
Yeah, you got to bring your best every day. Everybody's fighting for spots and every single position, and you got to expect the defense to bring their best every day. And if you don't, it'll definitely show up.
You talk about approaching things the same way. It's got to be a fraction different, though, right? Just from a mindset standpoint. Just from the feel, the kind of how you approach things, being first or second in reps in practice instead of third. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I always try to prepare like the starter. That was kind of the motto in our room, especially after Joey was announced starter, obviously last year. But I feel like there's a added sense of urgency in the building, but I've always prepared like I was going to be the starter. So.
What do you like about your growth? Where do you feel like you've gotten better, and where do you feel like you got to continue to improve?
Oh, yeah, I think I got a lot better at just deciphering coverages, going through our progression. Just learning our playbook was big. For players, it can take a while, and I think I did a good job of staying in the game plan and our playbook and just learning that, getting it down. And I continued to grow in that until we started spring ball and obviously for fall camp and stuff like that. I would continue to grow in that, especially. I think obviously getting stronger, getting bigger is going to be a big part of my development. And I think the rest will just be through reps and spring ball and fall camp, and just super excited. I think it's a big development opportunity.
When you're not playing and you're not going to play in those games, at least unless it's a blowout, do you take advantage of like, all right, I got to know the playbook inside and out, to the point where like when you're standing on the sideline, you can see like, okay, this is what's about to happen before it happens?
Yeah, especially with the new green dot in our quarterback's helmets. Even on the sideline, we'll still hear the play calls through the helmet. And me and Jake would usually stand the 30 yards ahead of the offense, be able to see the whole defense and talk about the play before it even happened. So I think that was definitely good for my development.
Can you kind of take the fans behind, without giving play calls away? I don't want you to do that, but like take us through maybe a moment in the season where you were able to kind of look up and go, okay, he's going to do this if the defense gives him this, and if so, it's going to be a touchdown. Was there one of those where you're like, this is going to be a touchdown to this guy, and it happened?
Yeah, we learned very quickly that Joey's going to take deep shots. He's going to give his guys a chance, and he threw really catchable balls. And against Syracuse, when they called that Max Pro deep ball, I think we're all wondering what was going to happen, but just getting it from the headset, I feel like we had a good feeling, and we knew that Joey's going to take a shot, and I think that's kind of his coming out party to the fan base.
How important is it as a quarterback to throw? They call it a catchable ball. Like everybody talked about how Joe Milton's arms fantastic, but his ball was much tougher to catch because it is a howitzer versus a guy who has a strong enough arm, but the ball's not coming with such a velocity.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of merit to having a lot of RPMs and a lot of arm strength just to be able to make any throw in any situation. But I think throwing the most catchable ball, giving the receiver a chance, let them do what they do great is one of the most important things while throwing a deep ball. Just got to work it. It comes through chemistry. And in the game, if you don't give them a chance, then it's going to be hard to move the ball. Not many explosive plays.
You're on social media. The talk about putting on weight and all that stuff. And then, of course, Coach Owings gets hired as the strength coach, and there people are putting, like big muscles on you with Coach Owings and all these things heading into the season through AI. How much do you think about hey, I've got to get to this weight? Just to take the pounding. How important is that, the next, 6 months of your progression just to add that 10, 15, 20 pounds?
Yeah, I prioritize it every day. You just eat as much as possible. I met the new strength staff today. They seem amazing, as well as the nutritionist, new nutrition staff, and I'm excited to get to work with them.
What do you like about this offense? Because the offense that when you were a recruit and the offense that we saw this past year, two totally different things. It doesn't mean wide splits. If the guy in the slot could play outside or vice versa, they move people around. How much, when you committed here versus now, are you liking it even more just because there is that more versatility to it?
Yeah, I think our coaching staff showed their ability to adapt. We're still having some of the old playbook at their option to call it, whenever they want. I feel like the guys, we all have that down, and just getting into a ton of different formations last year, spacing the field out, bringing it back down, tighter splits. I think it just really made us super dynamic and a lot harder to stop.
From a camaraderie standpoint, how much do you feel like you've been able to, kind of get the ear of the locker room, so to speak, to be able to, become buddies with a bunch of the different teammates and kind of, become a young leader on this football team?
Yeah, I think our culture in the locker room is great, especially in today's day and age. I think not many schools can say that, but we just got a good group of guys. We all get along real well. I think the chemistry is not just on the field, but off the field as well. And I think I've built a really good relationship with a lot of the offensive side of the ball and defenders as well.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk more with George, especially about this winter trip down to Florida. He and the receivers went down there. They did a little bit of throwing in some warm weather, which beats the cold weather here in Knoxville. We'll talk about it next on Beyond the Orange.
Matlock Tire Service and Auto Repair is proud to be celebrating 70 years of serving East Tennessee. That's 70 years of old-school customer service, trustworthy auto repair, and of course, great deals on tires. Each one of our 5 convenient East Tennessee locations feature family-friendly waiting areas, and you can schedule appointments and search for tires right on our website at matlocktireservice.com. Modern convenience, hometown values. For 70 years and counting, Matlock Tire Service and Auto Repair.
A beacon of hope in a world of high prices. Look to the skies, Knoxville. Super savings is here. Right now, get 0% APR, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days on select models, plus 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance during our Super Summer Sales event.
And don't forget about back-to-school service savings on mobile, pickup, and delivery.
Come see the super dealer today at either Ted Russell Ford location.
What's the #1 home improvement project you could do for your house? Install an Aqua Clear water system. If you see one of our blue and green trucks coming down the road, we're on our way to help another Tennessee family get better water. You owe it to yourself and your family to find out why 18,000 Tennessee homeowners have made the switch to Aqua Clear water systems. For your free water test and estimate, scan the QR code on the screen. We'll change your water. It'll change your life.
Hi, I'm Matt Marshall with Exterior Home Solutions.
Hi, I'm Dustin Woodson, also with Exterior Home Solutions.
We are now easier than ever to find, right off of I-75 and Merchants Road.
It's a new location, but the same trusted expertise in roofing and siding that you've come to trust over the past 25 years.
Local quality craftsmanship, licensed and insured.
For the best and most trusted name in roofing and siding, scan the QR code on your screen.
Exterior Home Solutions, when it has to be the best.
Beyond the Orange is brought to you by the great people at Knoxville Smiles, Dr. Walco, Dr. Costa, and Dr. Malone. What makes you smile, George MacIntyre?
What makes me smile?
Yeah.
Touchdowns.
Does it feel like it's been a while since you threw one? Like a one that counted, like the ones in practice? I guess they technically count. They just don't go on the stat sheet.
A little bit, yeah. I still remember my last one, but you're just itching to get another one.
What was the last one?
It was
semifinal?
Yeah, it was against Baylor. Little fade route to my high school receiver, Neil Clifton. So, yeah.
So it just sticks with you. It sticks with you. If you had to dial up the perfect play call for you to throw the football, what are you calling? What's OC George MacIntyre calling?
Man, without giving anything away, just like throw it deep. If a guy's got a one-on-one, you just got to give him a chance, trust him. And, that's what I've always tried to do. Just when it's there, to take it deep. So you
talk about trust. you and the receivers and even a tight end or two went down to Miami back in the month of January to kind of get that camaraderie going. What do you take away from a trip like that? What did you learn from that trip?
Yeah, I think just as a group, we got a lot closer. We're all young guys within the program, all underclassmen. So I think we also got a lot better. We had a lot of fun. We worked on a lot of timing routes, a lot of stuff that needs chemistry to get better at. And I thought it was the perfect little getaway for the off season, especially to get some warmer weather, be able to throw more outside. So,
is it also important to kind of establish yourself with those guys? I mean, when you go get in one of these competitions, I mean, the old Peyton Manning, Brandon Stewart battle in 94, where Peyton infamously locked Brandon Stewart out of the complex. I'm not saying you're going to do that to Faison. I'm just saying, like, to have camaraderie with that group is big, right?
Yeah, for sure, especially with the receivers. I'm only good if they're good, and they're only good if I'm good, and that goes to the rest of the quarterback room, the rest of the receiver room as well. So, yeah, camaraderie is definitely a big part of it. I won't be locking anybody out of the facility, but
they have key cards now. It's a little hard to lock the kids out of the facility. Like, how much do you thrive in this competition? Like, when was the last time you had a quarterback competition that you had to go win? Because, I don't count last year. I know they tried to play it up as one, but that was always Joey's to lose.
yeah.
When's the last time you actually had a real quarterback competition you had to go win? Like middle school?
No, actually, my sophomore year,
Okay.
I had to beat out 3 kids that were older than me, and they all had successful careers. A lot of them still playing college ball now. A lot of them transferred to rival schools and ended up playing against them later in my career. But that one actually went all the way down until the Monday of the first game. But I love that competition. I thought every day was intense at practice. Everybody, I think all 3 of us that year got better, and competition brings out the best in everybody. So I'm looking forward to it. You
are never too high, never too low. Like I people ask me to describe you, and I'm like, he's just got something. There's a swagger about him that, like, he's just gonna kind of give you one of those funny grins while he's slitting your throat out there on the field. Like you're competitive as anybody out there. Where's that come from? Yeah, I think the pedigree of just coming from a football family helped me a lot, especially when I was younger. Being in college locker rooms, understanding the intensity of what the competition looks like in college. Being in Colorado's locker room on game day, pregame speeches, postgame, after wins, after losses, just being around it. Understanding the importance of competition, and always playing up in basketball, playing early in high school in basketball in big games, big stadiums, state championship games, stuff like that. I think it really just molded me into being where the bigger the competition is, the better I play. So, I think just being around it helps a lot with the family pedigree, and having a lot of people around me that have done it that can help me and call me and kind of guide me through this process has been a blessing for sure. Your Uncle Mike, he's been around the block. Your grandpa obviously was a very successful guy, coached at Vanderbilt for a long time. Is there a sense of pride that you take with the whole family lineage in the game and that type of thing? Yeah, for sure. Especially being named after my grandfather, and growing up in Nashville, where he raised his family and built his legacy for the most part. Different parts of Tennessee. I think there's definitely a sense of pride in having MacIntyre on the back of my jersey. Do you lean on Uncle Mike for advice? Like, who do you pick the brain of? Like when you're either trying to figure something out, or you're going through a tough stretch and you need kind of some somebody to kind of listen to and pick the brain of. Who do you lean on? Yeah, my dad's always there. He played college ball as well. He played overseas. He coached for a little bit, got out of it. He played for Jack Harbaugh in college, who was as hard on his players as anybody. So my dad definitely helps a lot. Uncle Mike calls quite a bit. We talked yesterday because he can see it from a coach's point of view, and just help me out. This is what I would want to see from a quarterback if I was about to have a competition and stuff like that. Just both of them being very helpful. Obviously, there's more members in the family that call and reach out and help. My cousins are the OC and the quarterback coaches at St. Thomas in Minnesota. So, having them be able to understand the kind of the youthfulness of the game with me, and then also having my dad and my uncle to fall back on helps a lot. How excited are you? Spring ball is going to be right here before you know it. It's right around the corner. Like, I know it feels like the season just ended, but I mean, spring ball just boom, it's gonna be here. How excited are you to kind of get out there and just kind of get going?
Yeah, super excited. I thought spring ball last year was just so much fun. It's kind of just all ball every other day. You get to watch, you get to practice, and then you get a whole day to watch the film, and then install for the next practice, then get another day to go out there and do it again. And I think it's it's similar to fall camp, but it's more you get to evaluate yourself more between practices, where you're not just on the go on to the next activity. So I'm definitely looking forward to spring ball, and it's all ball. It's a lot of fun.
When you're in the competition, like how will that room be like? I mean, obviously Faison's coming in right out of high school, heralded guy, much like you were a year ago, and then you got Ryan coming in from Colorado with trying to compete for the job too. Like what's that room like?
We haven't had any group meetings yet. I'm yet to meet Ryan. I've heard he's a great guy. Been a teammate with Faison since Monday. So I haven't been around them too much, but I expect it to be a really good room. Last year was competition as well. And I thought we were a super tight, close-knit group with Joey and Jake. And, we still got Mason back. And, yeah, I think that's just kind of the tone Coach Halsley and the rest of the coaches in the quarterback room set. And, I think we'll all get along fine.
What do you take away from Coach Halsley? What have you learned from Joey?
Yeah, Coach Halsley's great. He knows ball. He's been around it. He's been in a lot of different offenses, and he knows his stuff. And, yeah, super, super grateful to learn from him last year and in the coming years to just really explain, try to see what he's seeing when he's calling something would be a huge part of my development. So,
all right, when we come back, we're going to talk more about the growth and development of George MacIntyre on Beyond the Orange.
Brought to you by Food City. It's the Ask Coach Heupel Show.
Hello, and welcome to Ask Coach Heupel. I'm your host, Josh Heupel. Mandy asks, what stands out to you about Tennessee when you compare it to the other places you lived? Great question, Mandy. Right off the bat, I can tell you those other places don't have a food city. In-house butchers, local produce, it's enough to make you evolve for life. This has been Ask Coach Heupel. With me, Coach Heupel.
And action on
Attention drives connection. Tell your story well. GoPopFizz.com/vol.
I'm Tennessee basketball player JP Estrella. Let me give you a tour here of the offices at Knoxville Smiles. Dr. Costa is placing implants with a robot, and it's all done digitally. There's no guessing with this since it's all robotic. Dr. Wilco is the newest addition to the office. He loves to research the latest and greatest in technology, so the other doctors go to him for the newest product information and techniques. Dr. Malone is building teeth in the mouth. To him, cosmetic bonding is more like artwork. He does this without cutting your teeth down. It's all about building them up. Guys, we still have a problem. Do y'all have a bigger chair?
The Volunteer Club is your all-access pass to the heartbeat of Tennessee athletics. Ride the orange wave to private events, limited edition merchandise, gifts, and more featuring your favorite UT athletes. Fuel the tradition, celebrate the wins, and stand shoulder to shoulder with the Volunteer family. The Volunteer Club is the home of the most passionate volume fans. Join us today.
I was coming home, I had a flat tire. The local authorities proceeded to ask me some questions, and then that led to my arrest. There were some facts that needed to be presented that could help me with my case. I was exonerated. I would contribute that to Mr. Garza and his staff's efforts. He assured me that he would do all within his power to assist me in seeing this through.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us.
Everybody ready?
Attention drives connection. Tell your story well. GoPopFizz.com/vol.
One of the proud presenting sponsors of Beyond the Orange is Garza Law. Their motto, let us help. Who's helped you out the most since you got here? And it doesn't even have to be a coach. It can be a support staff guy. It can be anybody.
I would say the camaraderie of the team. We're definitely in the locker room. We're a team. My locker's right next to T. Lander. It's right next to David Sanders. Right next to Deshaun Brain. Like we just got good people all around. There's not really any beefs on the team, and we all kind of lift each other up, and we're expecting to do that in the future as well.
What do you like about this group? Obviously, you got some transfers coming in. You got to find out how to mesh in spring ball, but more on the defensive side than the offensive side. Offense, you know most of these guys. I mean, Braham's looking to elevate his role. Obviously, the receivers, Ra and Travis Smith are looking to kind of do their thing. Tristan Keyes rolls in. Tyreek King won't arrive till the summertime. So how big is this next 15 practices of spring to kind of build the offense heading into 2026?
Yeah, super important. I think I know we were a super young team last year, but we'll be young again this year. And even with a lot of the proven guys, there's still a lot of underclassmen that are proven, and you have young energy, and a lot of guys that are looking to prove themselves over these, like you said, these next 15 practices. So it'll be super important. I think being able to be smooth, just as smooth as it was, it's a big part of it. I think bringing almost all the O-line back was big.
Yeah.
And their stuff, because the offense can only go if they are, and when they show that they're well capable of doing that, and looking forward to getting the chemistry going into spring ball, and a lot of young guys looking to prove themselves, and a lot of the proven guys, I expect them to just keep going at it. So.
You look at the running game. That's a quarterback's best friend. Yeah. And Deshaun Bishop's second team All-SEC, kind of an established guy, an older guy. How much does he help you or any of the quarterbacks that are new to the game?
Yeah, that's another one of the team leaders. I think with Deshaun, just the way he's carried himself from, walk on to starting running back, proving himself, and being one of the best running backs in the SEC last year, and, coming back, staying home, and that would be huge for us, having a good run game. I think Coach Hype's offense is always well-oiled, and they always have a good run game. So we're looking forward to just being able to rely on that when we need to.
Where do you have to take your game to the next level? Where do you have to keep getting better?
Obviously, I keep getting bigger, stronger, faster, just like every other player. But I think through experience, just be able to find more things to work on. And I think this year I'm really focusing on coverages, progressions, and footwork. So,
obviously, we talk about the weight. Like you have dietary restrictions, right? You have some allergies and stuff that you can't just eat just anything. It's not like and we can just hand you whatever to eat. So, like, how hard is that when you're balancing that?
It definitely does make it more difficult, but we've had a lot of resources, and excited to get going with a new nutritionist, and it's definitely not an effort problem. So
you try to shovel it in.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm always like, do I need to send you some Reese cups?
Can.
When you're in the weight room and you're working out with the new weight staff, what do you think that their goal will be for you? Not what I mean weight wise, but like to attack, like what part of the body? Is it, the frame, the lower half? Do you think it's just overall? What do you think it is?
Yeah, I think with a quarterback, lower body strength is kind of where the arm strength is going to come from. Having a tight core help a lot with accuracy and velocity and speed, stuff like that. Our first list is with them tomorrow, and I'm sure they have a great plan. Obviously, everyone's seen Mendoza's development from being at Cal to being at Indiana, and how they've helped him, and even just their proven track record with other quarterbacks has been really impressive. So I'm super excited to get to work with them and get their input on what they want to see from me.
All right, I'm going to preface this. I'm not saying he's Peyton Manning, but at one point in time, Peyton Manning in '94 was a pretty skinny kid.
Yeah.
When he rolls in here, and he'll inevitably roll in here for stuff, whether it be spring or summertime, do you find time to try to pick his brain about how he approached things? I don't mean weight-wise, but I mean like how he approached the game, how he approached practice, all that stuff?
Yeah, for sure. I think me and him have a really good relationship. We get text, when needed, and when he shows up, always make an effort to talk to him. And yeah, definitely gonna pick his brain as much as possible. Especially he'll be in Tennessee more often with his son at Baylor, and yeah, looking forward to seeing him again.
Did you tell him you should send him to BA?
We'll see.
No recruiting pitch. When you look at the summer months, how important will those be to take advantage of those moments when the coaches are allowed to be with you guys? Because all that rule change has, really, I think, sped things up, right? Like used to, you didn't, after spring ball, you didn't really see the coaches again practice-wise until August. Now you get some designated time with them. How important is that to kind of hit the ground running with those guys?
Yeah, super important. Kind of just priming the whole team for fall camp. So there's no like mental errors in fall camp, and it can just be more of the physical toll and getting the rep count in. And just as important as the player-led stuff we'll have to do after spring ball when the coaches aren't allowed to be there. That needs to be just as intense as it would be if they are there, and we need to be learning just as much. So looking forward to both player-led and coach-led practices, and that'll be kind of the catalyst that primes us for fall camp. So,
all right, when we come back, we'll do a Food City flashback, a little bootleg action.
A beacon of hope in a world of high prices. Look to the skies, Knoxville. Super savings is here. Right now, get 0% APR, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days on select models, plus 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance during our Super Summer Sales event.
And don't forget about back-to-school service savings on mobile, pickup, and delivery.
Come see the Super Dealer today at either Ted Russell Ford location.
To pay for stuff, spending.
I do not know.
Babe, candy. Spend me. Use me to buy stuff.
It's never too early to learn more about personal finance. At Hearthside Bank, we work closely with our community to help meet your goals and achieve your financial dreams. Hearthside Bank, always within reach. Member FDIC.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us.
Brought to you by Food City. It's the Ask Coach Heupel Show.
Hello, and welcome to Ask Coach Heupel. I'm your host, Josh Heupel. Glenn asks, Coach, how does one join the Vol Navy? It's a great question. Well, Glenn, you don't necessarily need a boat. You need a friend with a boat. Always arrive with beef, fresh cut by a Food City butcher, and you'll be welcomed aboard. This has been Ask Coach Heupel. With me, Coach Heupel.
This week's Food City Flashback, a little bootleg. Peyton Manning strolling into the end zone for 6 against Alabama. The naked bootleg. Alabama, and even maybe Tennessee's offense outside of Peyton didn't know that one was coming. George, do you have that in you to go naked bootleg without anybody knowing?
Man, if that's what it takes to win the game, then I'm all for it. So,
who do you try to emulate? Who do you try to watch and do little things and try to model your game after?
Yeah, I try to take things from different guys. I watched a lot of Tom Brady, just how he was able to be so consistent, just in the pocket, movement in the pocket, staying in the pocket, and just hitting receivers in stride with the accuracy.
Is that where the 12 comes from? Because you were 12 in high school. And I'm sure you'll go try to be 12 this fall.
Yeah, hopefully. But a little bit, yeah, I do like the number 12. I think a lot of great quarterbacks have worn it. And I didn't necessarily choose it my freshman year in high school, but I've stuck with it ever since. And
so it's not like a family number or anything. You just kind of like the way it turned out.
No, the family number is more 14, but, they're all 5'10" and college receivers instead. So
where did this height come from then?
It's a good question. From God, I guess. So, yes.
How do you build off what you've done to this point going into the season?
I think attack every day with a get better mindset. Attack the weight room, attack nutrition, attack the training room, attack on the field, meetings, just everything. And expect the team to do the same. And I think we'll be in a really good position heading into spring practice, fall camp, and then into the season.
He is George MacIntyre. Appreciate you going to be on the Orange.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.